Hello and thank you for joining us on the Monday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, Pantami renounces controversial comments on Al-Qaeda and Taliban. President Buhari sympathizes with residents as Boko Haram overruns Adamawa town, killed 11 and set 78 houses ablaze. And later on the show, Mourinho sacked by Tottenham Hotspur. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Asukwa James. So me and Akiri will be joining us in the sports segment. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Haunted by comments made in the past, suggesting he endorsed extremist groups. These are not interesting times for Nigeria's Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Ali Isa Pantami. He needs every communication tool in his kit to defend, explain, and convince Nigerians. Pantami, who is facing calls by Nigerians for his sack as a minister, said he has changed positions about comments he made in the past. Let's share some of those infuriating comments with you.
Siyasa ba sai abin da ya zama ba makawa ni ba dan siyasa bane ban san siyasa ba ban taba yin siyasa ba ban taba zuwa cikin siyasa ba da ka ba da cikin malamin da suka rike cewa mutum da biyan party ba da so da suka rike sakatare ban taba shiga mitin din siyasa ba mu abin da muke shiga mitin din sunnar manzon Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam amma ban taba shiga siyasa ba ko ba na sha'awar na shiga talakawa yadda ake addini haka muke so talakawa yadda masu addini suke shiga siyasa ana ba su matsayi haka kuke so a yi addinin haka kuke so a ba masu addini kudin siyasa suna rabawa haka kuke so a rika ba masu addini su daina karantar da Qur'ani. Ina roƙon Allah ya amsa mana. Haƙƙi ne akan shugabannin musulmai, haƙƙi ne akan malaman musulmai, haƙƙi ne akan 'yan siyasan musulmai, haƙƙi ne akan ma'aikata gwamnatin musulmai, haƙƙi ne akan jami'an tsaro musulmai. Dole su tsaya su ga an bi kadun jinin 'yan uwanmu da aka zubar. Dole su tsaya su ga an bi kadun 'yan uwan jininmu da aka cuta. Jinin alade ya fi shi daraja. Duk da yaran nan 'yan Boko Haram sun yi laifi, amma kisan da aka musu adalci ne. Ka duba yadda ake kwantar da mutane, yadda ka san aladu ana harbe su. Idan sun yi laifi me yasa za a extrajudicial killings a kai su gaban hukuma mana a hukunta su. Ka kama mutum yana kwance kana kashe shi, in ba musulmi ba ake wannan. Mutanen Neja Delta sun yi wannan, sun kashe jami'an tsaro, sun saci mukamai, sun kashe turawa, sun yi kidnapping turawa, amma kun karbe su, kun bude musu ministry, kun sa musu minista, kun ba su albashi, suna daukan salari ba sa aiki. Laifinsu bai kai na waɗannan 'yan Boko Haram ba. Amma me yasa za a yi haka? Me yasa ake selective justice?
The flip side of it is that while answering questions during his daily Ramadan lecture in Abuja on Saturday, the minister said he made those comments when he was young and described the campaign against him as politically motivated.
Na farko duk wanda ke bin da'awata da karantarwa na kamar shekara 15 da suka wuce zuwa yanzu baya bukatar na bashi amsa. 15 years zuwa yanzu baya bukatar na bashi wata amsa. In nace 15 years daga wani shekara? Tun daga wajen 2006 ko 5 to 6 din nan baya bukatar na bashi amsa, don in mutum yana arewacin Najeriya kuma yana jin Hausa, in dai zai adalci bai san mutum ɗaya da ya tashi ya shiga birni da ƙauye yake da awa wajen wayar da kan matasa daga nisantan ta'addanci irin abin da na yi ba. In dai mutum zai adalci, saboda na shiga jihohi da yawa na yi wannan. Zan ba da misali, a shekara 15 na yi muhadara akan wannan aboci sun fi guda 30. A cikin ATBU hatta makala sanda in rubuta pamphlet na raba wa ɗalibai na karantar da su akan muhimmancin nisantan wannan. Na biyu na yi a Gombe na karantar. Na uku zan iya tunawa na tafi har Maiduguri an gayyace ni. Na je har masallacin Alhaji Muhammadu Indimi, na yi limancin Juma'a, na yi khutuba a kai, na kuma yi muhadara a wurin akan nisantan ta'addanci gayyata na aka yi to ga wani ya ce shi da shi aka je ma na Maiduguri a lokacin shiga garin ma ba a iya yi amma haka na shiga garin na je kuma na yi wa'azi na fito shi da shi aka tafi ba a Najeriya ba na shiga har Nijar garin Difa akan wannan matsalar bisa ga gayyatan su Alhaji Musa wani dan kasuwa a gidansa na zauna kwana 3 ina yin wa'azi matasa ina wayar musu da kai akan abin da ya kunno kai su yi haƙuri su yi wa malaman su dattawa biyayya su yi makaranta su yi karatu kuma su rika kiyaye doka so idan na yi fatawa ta addini ba wai ra'ayina ba ne fahimtar addini ne a wannan lokacin da na faɗa a fahimtar addini nan ina iya dacewa ina iya yin kuskure idan na dace ka ɗauka in ka ga ba daidai ba ne ka bari mafu tsayi su da wannan a matsayina na musulmi idan na abu fahimta ta na faɗa kuma abin da nake ƙarawa a matsayina na musulmi ba na goyon bayan ta'addanci idan ka ga wani ya yi kotun cewa ina goyon bayan Al-Qaeda ko Taliban fahimtarsa ne ba tawo ba ce a yanzu ni Isa nake magana ba fahimta ta bane yana faɗan fahimtarsa ne kuma idan ya fahimce ta ne a mu'amala ta to wannan opinion ɗinsa ne amma ni kuma ai ga abin da na kudura a zuciyata kuma ga abin da ke tsakanina da Allah na
Babajide, Isa Pantami reminds me of Saul the Apostle. You know, Paul the Apostle.
Yes.
You know, at a point in time, he was persecuting Christians and everything. He was Saul, and later he met with, you know, and he had a change of heart, and he became one of the people propagating the gospel of Christ, despite the fact that he did not see Jesus Christ. But Isa Pantami is now owning up, saying that yes, I did make these comments when I was younger. And I wasn't as matured as this. Human being can make such mistakes.
Yes. I don't blame Isa Pantami. I blame our security agencies, the DSS, who give us the impression that before people are appointed, they do due diligence, they conduct some checks. There's no evidence that any check, there's no evidence that they ran any check on Isa Pantami. Secondly, we spend hours and hours and hours screening people in the National Assembly.
Taking bows.
Sometimes what you just see is a charade, just
superficial.
A bloody waste of time, because at that screening, somebody should have raised this issue. That you said some time ago that jihad was a legitimate thing. You said some time ago that you even offered yourself. You offered yourself. People should have raised those questions. So, yes, Pantami said he was young, not exactly young. If he said he was younger, I will agree. He is almost 50 now, he's 48 now. Some of those comments were made when he was already above 30 years. When you are above 30 years, you are not exactly a young person. You are a full adult. And if you do anything that is against the law of the land, you are going to answer for it. You are not an 18-year-old. At that age, your character is fully formed. And anything that you do, you should be prepared to bear the consequences. So I don't buy this idea of I was young. No. If you say, yes, you have now become more mature, or I was younger, I could accept. We all make mistakes. We all take the wrong turn. And when we take the wrong turn, we must be able to admit it if we have conscience. Not everyone actually respects his conscience. What has happened has happened. Unfortunately, this same man, because I have to be fair to him, as someone who fears God myself, he is under Boko Haram fatwa as we speak. If they get hold of him, they will slaughter him.
Really?
Yes. Shekau already said that his people should go after him at this time. I mean, that they should take his life. Some of the things that he said in the past, from his actions in the very recent past, you cannot now say, oh,
there's correlation.
Is that he continues to maintain links with Al-Qaeda, this and that he remains chummy with them. You can't say that now because there's a fatwa on his head.
Security moves of NIM and everything.
All those ones, those are issues. People will bring those issues. I do not.
No, what I'm saying is that it's even to make sure security is even tighter. And tighter.
And they cannot be happy.
They will never be happy.
He's been trying to make it difficult for them to communicate. Shekau said it, and there's a fatwa on his head. So for someone that there is fatwa on his head, it shows that he no longer has anything to do with those people. If he had in the past, you see, we have to be very careful what we say. Because, as I always say, time is a gentleman, and time will catch up with you at some point. The things that you said back then, once you get into a position like this, you need to renounce them publicly. He has partially renounced because he did not directly apologize for what he said. He was just trying to give an explanation. An explanation is different from apology. You made statements that are divisive at some point, and you made some correlations that are completely made no sense, like comparing Boko Haram with Niger Delta militants. There's no reason to do that kind of, because you want to win an argument or what. So he has to do what is right, renounce publicly, because he is not the first cleric to wrongfully support terrorist acts and then renounce what he said in the past. So he has to do it the right way. Doing task-free, explaining, by explaining in this way is telling us that, yes, he was guilty of saying those things. But it should go beyond that by doing it the proper way. Address a press conference and say, gentlemen, I made some of this, but I have renounced. Let it be on record that you did that. The way Sheikh Aminu Daurawa renounced his past. That way, there will be full closure to this thing, and Nigerians will forget, because the truth is, he's doing a good job as far as I'm concerned as a minister. But I have to be fair. In other climes, by now he will no longer be a minister.
He would have resigned.
In fact, by now he will no longer be a minister. And for people to say, oh, something happened in the past, it doesn't always insulate you. What Adeosun did also happened in the past. But people called for her head, and in the end, she had to go. You know? So, but Pantami now, there's fatwa on his head. I can't be saying that somebody who has fatwa on his head, yes, then I should. Already we know now that he no longer has sympathy for those people. And like he said, he's been going around preaching, against terrorism. Fine.
I'm even hearing for the first time that he has been declared.
Yes. No, me, I was in Kano when Shekau told his people to kill him. And everywhere he goes, his security is tighter now. You see DSS, you see other people guiding him, even during the staff sales. So this is the thing. He should not suffer in
double
jeopardy.
Asuko, there's this thing with Nigerians, maybe since 2015 or 2019, I can't just place my hand. It's either Christians against Muslim or not against South, and there's an attempt on the internet, to ethnicize, politicize. PDP came out with a press release signed by Kola Ologbodi. When you see all arguments, people from the South, everybody is saying Pantami must go, he should resign and everything. That perspective is worrisome. You can hardly see Nigerians that come and dissect it, and while trying to say this is the way, and at the same time did what GD is doing now, saying that look, he's not even munching with these other guys. But people don't want to be objective at all. The only thing they want to hear is Isa Pantami must go.
I think what we are trying to do here is to be as objective as possible, and that is what GD has done. If there's one person that I know that has not been chummy with Pantami, he has been BKO, because remember the incident and all that. So, but look at how he has been able to analyze it. It's not saying that the guy has never said those things. We have seen it. But the guy is also in serious trouble in the other side, which he was supporting before. And which is the fatwa that has been declared on his head. And talking about the issue about Nigerians always coming out to either say I am a Christian, I'm a Muslim, and then I am Igbo, I'm Hausa. That is even what is even dividing the country the more. Even when we are even thinking that the opposition party, the PDP, will try to even put themselves in that position of trying to above that ethnicity and religious bad sentiment. They are always bringing that. When once they know, oh, it is this particular region, they want to go towards that side, and not being objective and staying and saying, no, for us to be one, why not look at this way? Act like an opposition. Don't act as if you want to destroy the entire country. If you go to social media, sometimes some people now say that if you want your mental health to be intact, don't even go on social media.
I don't visit Twitter again.
Because that is where you will see people who are less, in fact, they are not really informed. They will go there and post things that are not necessary. Because what we need now,
abusing freedom.
Children
of anger.
Yes, of course. Which is wrong. For us to maintain and to remain one, we must always be objective with what you are saying. The man has renounced this thing. He has.
If you are to be President Muhammadu Buhari in the midst of this, some people told me, somebody wrote it on his Facebook that, oh, look, this will also pass. Buhari is not going to do anything. The man is going to keep his job, and Nigeria will forget, will move on as usual. But it's just a sport for this. It's just for the spur of the moment. That watch, that nothing will happen to him. President Buhari is not going to say anything. He's not going to do anything, and with time we move on. Judy,
you see, in this kind of situation, Buhari shouldn't be the issue. Pantami should be the issue. What does he do at this time? Will he simply trudge on like an arrogant fellow and not give this issue the kind of closure that it deserves? And that's why I said,
to apology?
Yes, to say, gentlemen,
renouncing
publicly. Because doing a tafsir is just meant for Muslim adherents, some of the people who had
your local assembly
listening to you for law. He's a fantastic preacher, everyone is well respected in the North.
Quite eloquent.
For his ability as a preacher. The knowledge that he has of the Quran, and of course the fact that he's been able to mix Western education with the religious education that he has, gives him that edge over many clerics. Many of them don't have any form of Western experience. And he's been there, went to school there as well, apart from University of Medina, where he was trained.
Saudi Arabia.
So he has to do what is right, and that's what is done in other places. You call a press conference, say, gentlemen, this happens also time, I need you to forgive me. Don't simply say when you are young. No, you are not young because you are over 30 when you are saying this thing. Your character was fully formed, and you were very cognizant of what you were doing. You understand? So he should be, it wasn't Buhari that kicked Adeosun away. Adeosun resigned on her own. I'm not saying Pantami should resign, for example, because I can see clearly that even if he didn't publicly announce that he had become a changed man, the evidence is staring us in the face.
Exactly.
Here was a man who was against people working for government, people being in politics.
Yes, in politics.
But today, he was against clerics accepting appointments. He has accepted 2 appointments now. One at NITDA and then as Minister of Communication and Digital Economy. So he has achieved some form of 360 degrees change for himself. And then he's there in government. He can't say he's not a politician now. To even keep your job, you do a lot of lobbying and all that. And you are there. So it's not, he's a politician. So he's gone against some of the things that he was against. So I see him as a changed man. He's like, he's wearing a new robe now. All old things, as the Bible said, are passed away. So I don't want him to
He's no longer
resign.
Saul. He's not Paul.
I don't want him to resign. And that's not because I like him or I'm completely indifferent to him. You know, I don't want him to resign. I think he's doing a good job, especially with this registration thing. Yes, he may, even that can incur enmity for him, but that's not the issue. He was guilty of those things that they accused him of. And no amount of giving people money on social media, so-called influencers and all that, will erase that fact. That look, these things were said and they are on record.
Video evidence.
They are on record. I don't want to quote some of the nasty things that he said.
Yeah.
But we want to see him as someone who operated in the realm of ignorance. Now he has seen the light. Now he has seen the truth, and the truth shall set him free.
I think another thing should be him also, if he has any legal battles with people who have published these things, because I know there was a time he was saying that my lawyers will come for you and things like that. This is the time for him to say, you know what,
with all this evidence,
for there to be peace and apologize, let's withdraw the case and then call a press conference, and then this thing will be off.
Okay, we'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. Thank you for staying with us. It's Journalist Hangout, and we're reaching you live from TVC News, the best TV station of the year. Boko Haram insurgents have launched a daring attack on Kwapre community in Adamawa State, killing many people. President Muhammadu Buhari has condoned with the people. The president, represented by the secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, assured the community that government will take drastic steps to curtail the menace. They hardly go to Adamawa, and the number of times they visited Jobi, more frequent than Adamawa. I don't know the modus operandi or how Boko Haram, what informs their attack.
The more active Boko Haram faction is the Abanawi faction. Okay. And they are not in that area.
Okay, yes, the Abanawi faction.
They are not in that area, and they are the ones that are very active. They have the logistics. They can move. They can attack army bases. So these ones are the Shekau faction, and they operate from the Mandara Mountains and Sambisa. That's where they are. So this from Goza, Goza is not far from those Adamawa communities, and there's the Boko Haram faction that operates from Chibok, from Askira Oba, in Borno State. In fact, Borno, many parts of Borno South, Hawul, Askira Oba, all of those places, they are not far from these Adamawa communities, so they can move in. Boko Haram is still very much in Michika. They are still
that's General town.
In Adamawa. They are still there in Madagali. So it's not like they left. It's like you have your cell somewhere, you are still there. Occasionally when the opportunity comes, they strike. For example, they came down from Mandara Mountains, got into Ambagda, the hometown of Senator Alundume, and killed a soldier. In fact, the soldier, they just took his corpse to Operation Lafia Dole. So they still operate in that area. Just some days back, they attacked travelers in Limankara, grabbed their truck and stole the goats that those travelers had in the truck. So they are in that area, they still operate in that area. This is the local government of the secretary to the government of the Federation, where this incident took place. Is in Hong local government. That's the local government of Boss Mustafa, and it is worrisome because Hong was part of the 7 local governments that Boko Haram controlled before the 2015 election in Adamawa State. You know, they controlled 7 in Adamawa, controlled 2 in Yobe, and controlled about 17 in Borno State. So there is every reason to believe that they are gradually regrouping again, because the attacks from that Goza area in the last few days and weeks have kind of increased. So it means that they are regrouping and trying to register their presence more and more. So it means that the security agencies have to do their best to curtail their excesses. Remember, they went to Garkida, also in Adamawa State, last year, and killed many people, set ablaze churches and people's homes. It's a similar thing that they've done now. They destroyed worship centers, they set ablaze 78 houses, and they killed, as at this morning, the death toll was 11. So from the area where they've operated, you know that these are Sheikh House boys.
As my own problem is that they allow these people to operate for hours unchecked. They no longer do it as if it's a kind of hit and run thing. Do you understand? As in, you know that, oh, in some other country, if you call 911, in the next 5 minutes, the ambulance, everybody, the security patrol will come to your rescue and everything. How can Boko Haram get to a town and operate for 5-6 hours?
You are saying that 911. I think the only states that I know, maybe I don't know if FCT has a short code for emergency, is Lagos State that I know. They have their own 767. So let's even leave the short code, you know, for emergencies. But where the military bases and where most of these towns and communities are might be very far. And don't forget, when Boko Haram if they want to attack, most times what they do is they go for the infrastructures, the key infrastructures, make sure they destroy the key infrastructures, and before...
Well, it takes them hours.
Yes, now before, for instance, if they want to attack a particular base, they can destroy the electricity, you know, and make sure that that place is dark. So when they go there, they can go there in the middle of the night and then operate all through. So before people will raise alarm for the soldiers to get there, it will be very long. And that is where the problem is. And when you have communities that are far off from military bases, before the soldiers will get there, it will take a long time. All the major towns and communities in Adamawa, I'm surprised that this is happening to Adamawa, because it's been very long that we heard about Adamawa being attacked. Very, very long. And 78 houses burnt, buildings, churches, mosques. It's like they just went there to make sure that they destroy virtually everything. Now, what we need now is to see how we can try and create more bases. And just like you're saying, emergency, if Nigerians can have one major emergency code, because that is what we are lacking. One major emergency
they should
code,
respond to it.
you know,
they should respond to it.
Yeah, they must
because we
respond
see
to
people
it.
raise alarm, the police
And the police
doesn't
will
show
not
up.
even go. So now we must also ensure that once this major national emergency code is given, anywhere that is beeped, anywhere in Nigeria, people should be able to be saved. Not just having that emergency code, they send that message and nobody is going there to save people.
Because these people, the way they operate is that now, when they get to a certain area, if they can operate for like 5-6 hours unhindered, the people of that area, they will know that, look, these people, they can come and terrorize us at any given time without any response from government. So they tend to cooperate with even Boko Haram more.
Out of fear.
Out of fear, intimidation. Look at 64 people were said to be abducted now.
Yes, they like to abduct people because it offers them opportunity to make money. And you know, they've abducted many pastors in that Adamawa area because those communities are largely dominated by Christians.
Okay, those Christian
so I remember the pastor, at least that one, luckily they released that one. They like to abduct people because you then come forward and pay ransom, which they will use to maintain their cells, to buy their weapons, and all that. So then, of course, the women, when they abduct people, the women, they use the women as sex slaves. The women cook for them. They marry them off to their commanders, you know, just like war booty. They see women like as war booty, that when you conquer an area, so those women are like spoils of war. The spoils of war, that's the way they see women. So everywhere they go, they look for young women, young boys, I guess, that they can take away. When they see elderly people, you know, in fact, there was a community that everybody had abandoned, but a woman, about 90 years in Borno State, in Borno North, the woman said, I'm not going to leave this place. You know, he said, number. I will not leave this place.
Boko Haram,
they are not going to do anything to her. 90-year-old woman, she was fetching her firewood. He said, no, they came. She narrated how they killed people and all that, but that she would not leave that place.
Okay. Also, Moji Jami is on Zoom. Hello, Moji.
Hello, good evening, AY.
Yes, in Adamawa again, Boko Haram, they've gone to Adamawa to wreak havoc, and 64 people abducted this time around.
Like I said, it's quite unfortunate, and I read the news. It's rather unfortunate. Before now, you see the Boko Haram insurgents, the characters, calling for a break during the month of Ramadan. But it's like they have lost all sense of justice and reasoning to have done that kind of dastardly attacks in Kuta, in Adamawa. It's very, very unfortunate. But I think the presidency should just should go beyond just sympathizing with the community leaders. I think it's a time for the president to charge the new army chief and other security operatives to be alive to their duties. Like the president said when he came back from UK the other day, that the appointment of the new IG is like a continuity. I mean, I don't see this as a good continuity. I mean, we need to up our ante and ensure that lives and property are safe, especially by curbing these attacks from these Boko Haram elements. It's becoming one attack too many. More than 20 people have been reportedly killed now. Several rendered homeless. Many houses were burnt. It's like a very, very serious. I mean, like we're in a war zone. What happened in Adamawa over the weekend? It's very, very sad and quite unfortunate.
But even, you know, some people will even say these guys are not even good Muslims.
They are not
Muslims. They're just bigots. They're just, I don't know. The month of Ramadan, I know what is attached to the month of Ramadan.
Exactly.
I have friends.
That is when these ones like to kill people.
Yes, now. I have friends that are Muslim friends.
Yes.
I know this month. I know
The
how
month of
everything,
peace.
the month of peace.
Yes.
I know
And
the way
sharing.
they go in the last 7 days.
A month
I know
of
the way
forgiveness.
they conduct
Yes.
themselves. Do you understand?
Even
It's a
those
very
of
holy
them,
month.
those of them who drink this time around, they don't drink.
That's around
So all
now.
of those drinking dens,
Yes.
they are losing a lot of
Yes,
their Muslim customers now.
It's not time
You know?
to even womanize.
Yes, no. They'll give a break to those that
street
women.
girls, they are complaining badly that
Of course
there's
they will
a
complain.
very bad
Because
market for them.
some of the Muslim patrons are
they are
not showing up. But these ones are just they are animists. I don't see them as Muslims.
Infidels.
Some of the best friends that I have are Muslim. This you have not identified this kind of conduct with them. Muslim Northerners, my best friends, they have never identified this kind of conduct with them. That you now do untoward things unprintable things during the month of Ramadan. That's why it's called the holy month of Ramadan. You are spilling blood during Salah.
Ramadan. One thing again there is that when they want to operate, they're always quick to hold the Quran. They're always quick to say God is great and everything. And they are wanting people to think that look, they are associated with Islam.
Those people are not worshiping Almighty Allah. They are not Muslims, like you just said. You can't see a devout Muslim in this month of Ramadan shedding that kind of blood, even if it were blood of enemies. Most of the people they are attacking are Muslims. So what is their point? At times they claim that we Southern Muslims are not real Muslims, but now they are going to Adamawa. This where they attacked. I mean, you won't tell me it's only Christians that live there. Adamawa is a predominantly Muslim community, and from information I gathered, the area where they have attacked now, they are predominantly Muslims. So what's their point? And also, we are in the holy month.
They did not attack the massacre.
We are supposed to be seeking forgiveness. We are supposed to be asking for blessings from Almighty Allah, and so many other things. This is a month that is supposed to be dedicated to doing good, honestly. So it baffles me when I hear such things. In fact, when I read and I heard of the attack, I was like, I mean, is this for real? Definitely, they are not Muslims. They are better. They are even worse than infidels, so to say.
They are the real infidels that they are calling.
Yes, they feel that.
And when you see Sekau preaching, he will be telling fellow Muslims that if they do not repent, that they are going to die.
As if they're fighting for
yes, you say that they are the true worshippers of Allah, that they will die. Damasak, they went to Damasak 5 times in 2 weeks. Is that not a Muslim community? They still had the shootout with the army in Dikwa yesterday. Is that not a Muslim community? These same people. They went to.
They can't even respect ceasefire for that holy month.
Kamuya in Yobe State to go and kill soldiers and steal weapons.
All right.
In the month of Ramadan.
Okay. We'll take this break. When we come back, Mia Akiri will join us and we'll talk sports. You always say Mourinho out.
It's not your regular show. It's an online interactive session where we share my views on the everyday issues that cut across politics, security, health, current affairs, governance, and so much more. I am passionate about our country. I choose to support any conversation geared towards building a better Nigeria. Babajide Kolade Otitoju. Join me every Saturday on TVC News YouTube channel as I discuss Nigeria and the world at large on the show Issues with Jide.
Welcome back. A lot of people are getting it twisted. That Issues with Jide is not on TVC News. It's on our YouTube station. So you have to go to TVC News channel to watch it. Use your data. Baba Jide, use your data. It's not on TVC News.
On Saturday, I couldn't watch it.
Yes, we've seen a lot of people. They've been asking me. They called me on Saturday to ask me. By 6 p.m., just join him every Saturday, 6 p.m. That's on our YouTube station. So just a little bit of your data. Don't do anything. Moving on now. After picking just 2 points from his last 3 league games, suffering 10 league defeats in a single campaign for the first time in his managerial career, and an ouster from the Europa League in March, the writings were done on the wall that Jose Mourinho could soon be axed as manager of Tottenham Hotspur. Now, the hammer has indeed fallen on the Portuguese tactician who has been sacked by Tottenham after just 17 months in charge. Spurs face Manchester City in the Carabao Cup final on Sunday. Is this the right time for the London side? Yeah.
Well, very difficult to indeed say from the outside if this is the right time if you consider who a Jose Mourinho is.
Okay, let's clear it first.
Okay.
Was it because of his performances and everything? Why was Mourinho sacked?
I think to a large extent, performance was a key factor. But most importantly, Mourinho was almost losing the dressing room. Now, if you take a look at most of the incidents that has always led to Mourinho being sacked everywhere he has gone, Mourinho has an attitude. When results are not going his way, he is always quick to blame the players. He does not take the blame. And this is one thing professional footballers don't really like in world football. Paul Pogba also said that recently. The biggest challenge with Mourinho is he has a way of falling out with his players. And that is not good for leadership as a football manager. He fell out with the likes of Paul Pogba, fell out with players at Real Madrid, started with Iker Casillas. When it came to Tottenham Hotspur,
the statistics I gathered from Promise Foge and Uncle Deji Omotoyibo.
Yes.
Looking at the number of wins, the number of draws.
88 gagames played, 44 of them, drawn. 44-1, and then you have 19 drawn,
And the ratio is 51%.
51%. Now, if you take a look at where Tottenham is on the table, they have 50 points at the moment, 7th on the table. Liverpool, the defending champions, are just 2 points ahead of them. You want to really cut, Tottenham a slack with their performance.
This is the start now.
At this point in time.
They played 86 games,
yes.
144, drew 19,
and lost 23
in a season. No.
In 17 months.
In more than a season.
In 17 months.
Okay, 17 months. Okay.
So that's the issue for Mourinho. Okay. Now, I think Mourinho needs to take a look at himself again and assess himself. When results are going his way, you would say Mourinho is one of the best managers in world football. When it came to Tottenham Hotspur, started very well with Spurs.
Beating Manchester United
6-1. Came in September. As at December, they were topping the league. And everyone was feeling the impact of a Mourinho. Yeah, this is Mourinho. He has come to stay. This is the Mourinho we've always known. But unfortunately, when the Premier League started, the second week, the first thing Mourinho did was to fall out as one of the best players at Spurs. Dele Alli.
The Nigerian.
And yes, at Spurs. And as at then, there were talks of Dele Alli going to Paris Saint-Germain. Twice this rumor popped up with serious interest from PSG, but the player didn't move. At the point in time, the left back, Danny Rose, was questioning Mourinho. Why am I not playing? He could not give concrete answers.
Oh, Jide, he's like, with all this, the number of times that Mourinho has been given, shown the way out, and I saw another statistics that Mourinho has made from his outside clauses that he has won over 93 million pounds. So if you've gotten 93 million pounds, more than what you even employed to do, this is no longer the special one. Or what do you think?
Well, it ceased being the special one a long time ago. His stock has fallen. His chef life has suddenly become short. The truth is, everyone has a sell-by date. We can now see Mourinho's sell-by date. The Mourinho that we saw at Chelsea is not the Mourinho of today. Mourinho was very charming with his players at Chelsea. And the players, people like Drogba, people like John Terry, they could die for him.
They played for him.
John Terry could put his head in a guillotine because of Mourinho. Back then, this is a completely different Mourinho, extremely arrogant. You hear some of he was saying that, look, that Manchester United had not made any progress under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I said that last season. But even a blind man knows.
They're grinding out results.
A blind man knows that Manchester United, they already have 66 points now.
As it is
and
now.
That was what they scored last season. The season has not ended.
What
they already have. You cannot say that is not progress.
Man City should watch their back.
Yes.
Because it's not a foregone conclusion.
Yes. That is evidence of progress. They ended the season in 3rd place last season. They are going to end the season most likely in 2nd place. You can't say there is no progress. They've beaten Man City 2-0 at home. It's not easy to beat Man City. In fact, Pep Guardiola has never beaten Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the league. Chelsea has never beaten Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the league. Yet you continue to ridicule him. He said that he can only talk to people who have won trophies.
He's won the Champions League.
Yes, that
coaches who fight for 3 points.
that Guardiola is the one who can talk to him. Look, the truth is, everyone will get a chance when he begins to win something.
That's it.
Sir Alex Ferguson had so much time until he started winning trophies at Manchester United. And he ended up as the greatest soccer coach.
Yes, I think his first 3 years was dry.
Many years, you know. In fact, it was speculated that they were going to sack him before he suddenly won a match, and then things turned around, you know. So he is the most successful coach ever in terms of number of trophies that he has won. You know? So if they are not giving him that time, if they had not been patient, they would not have become what he became. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer too could get there. For him to be ridiculing him, somebody who is younger than you, ridiculing him that he has not won anything, you know, it just shows how arrogant he is. He always throws his players under the bus.
That's it.
But in this case, they did not sack him because of non-performance. And I think they should have let him play that final match. Because he's fond of winning cup games, especially in final.
Would have lost that final for anything.
You know, that would have been...
Looking at his story from the days of Porto.
Yes.
Going to Real Madrid, all the clubs he has been playing for, and all the leagues he has been playing for, this guy will just get the cup, make his mark, get the cup.
There's no place he has not won trophies.
You know, I think the biggest challenge, you know, coming to Tottenham Hotspur for Mourinho was the fact that
I think there's a chance like that. So maybe the producer should help us to look for it.
Tottenham wearing as
Tottenham
wearing as big as the clubs he has managed, and for a Mourinho, there's something that works for him. When I come to a club, there are some players I want, players who will be loyal to me. But unfortunately, for the very first time in a long while, we've seen that things have not worked for Mourinho at all. Even worse than what we saw at Manchester United when it came to Tottenham Hotspur. Now, Mourinho still went with that attitude of fighting his players. He did that at Tottenham Hotspur. Apart from fighting his players, there's something, you know, Tottenham were concerned about. They did well in the Champions League, but still allowed Mauricio Pochettino leave because they felt Spurs would always have a good run. But unfortunately, when it gets close to the final, or when they get to that moment when they should be winning trophies, they miss it. So rival fans in England and beyond have, you know, a name they call Spurs now. They call them Spursy. Oh, you can close, you Spursy. That's the way they, you know, they've tagged, you know, Tottenham Hotspur and their fans.
So they go to the final of Champions League. Liverpool, Tottenham.
So they felt Mourinho, who has a winning mentality, would come in and change all of this. But unfortunately, Daniel Levy realized one thing. When Pochettino was in charge, we were going from a good team to a team that could indeed win trophies under Pochettino. But Mourinho has brought us from that team that was competing for trophies to a mid-table team today. Now, Mourinho was always fighting his players and fighting everyone. He also, there was what people said, which I felt it was key. He said, Mourinho has a way of cutting away some players from first team, which also affects the harmony in the team. And that's something that has come to bear at Spurs. And when Daniel Levy probably realized this, you know, he felt, hey, it's not just about the result on the field alone. These players need to be happy.
Julie is 6 days to the Carabao Cup final.
Not because, you know, he refused to take the players for training. He refused to take the players for training, and that was why they had to let him go.
Yes,
because he was not happy that the Super League. Yes, he was not happy that Tottenham had decided to join 6 other clubs. You know,
that Super League.
So it's not your place as a coach to take that kind of decision. So maybe he was even contriving, looking for a way to get sacked, because I don't understand why you now. That's a management decision.
I'm telling you,
it shouldn't be your own issue.
Another 20 million pounds might come into the table for him, or 18.
Yes, because
about 30 million pounds.
Look,
30 million pounds.
Let me tell you, perhaps he will have won that title for them, because everywhere he's been to, he has won trophies. is someone reputed for
He's a
winning
specialist.
trophies.
When he gets to the final,
In his first
he will
season
make
in
sure.
Manchester United, he won 2 trophies. The Europa that Man U had not won, and the Carabao Cup. So there is no guarantee that if they had left him, he would not have won this cup, because one-off games especially is good at winning one-off games. You know, he would do his best, he would win the trophy. So, but to sack him, somebody said perhaps if he had won that trophy, what they would pay off, what they would spend to pay him off will have been higher. So maybe they will leave it to now.
Tottenham may not be too justified, in sacking him after winning the trophy.
Yes, it will be difficult to justify it.
He makes more money when he gets sacked.
It will be difficult. How do you tell the fans
Yeah.
that a person who just won a
the
trophy
cup.
for you, the first time in a century, you've told him to go?
Me, actually, thank you so much for
Always
your
a
contribution. Mojid Jamiu Asukwo James, thank you so much for your contribution today. And BKO, thank you. We hope to do it again tomorrow.
Yes.
And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.